Welcome. Welcome to Thoughts Roundup. I would like to present another in the series Verbal Memoirs to you today. Memories of yesterday, memories of a long time ago, but sometimes they're so fresh in my mind. We're talking about when my wife and I went to Dallas, Texas to build a church. And how that I spoke the last time about having services in the John E. Fickling School in their gym. And we built up a fairly nice congregation for a new work. And there was a piece of land that we were looking at over on 9606 La Prada Drive. It had old Christmas trees on it and boxes, and people threw this and that on it. But the property next on both sides of it was nice property. And so I thought, what a lovely place, what a beautiful place that would be for a church. They had two churches down on both corners, down on La Prada Drive, Oaks Drive. And so I thought, what a nice place. One day, that property, someone placed a sign out for sale. And so I called, and he said $7,000. Well, folks, it was in an area, it was in a location that it could have easily been $75,000, $100,000, even in that particular time. Well, we got together the funds and bought the property. United Church Builders, they offered to help us to get a church building. They were in the church building business. So they got us some plans all lined out and submitted them to the city of Dallas to be approved. Now I'm going to tell you, to get something through get something approved in the city of Dallas at that particular time even was a very difficult thing. But one day after, I believe it was about 6 weeks, I received a call from the city, and they said, come down when you at your opportunity. The plans are here ready for you, and they have been approved. Well, I was so excited. And I went down to the city and walked in, and she said, yes, I have the plans right here. And they had the approval marks on the plans. She said, when I started to walk out, she said, you know, the main person that is in charge wants to see you. If you have the time, he'd like to see you before you leave. I thought, here's here's the problem. Everything's been too easy. I was ushered into this big office. Oh, it had all kinds of, it was one of the largest offices I've ever seen in my life. And it had all kind of exotic animal heads all around the walls, fish, all of this, beautiful pictures. After a while, the person that wanted to see me came in, and he said, Reverend, I want to thank you for coming. He said, you didn't have to, I didn't have to do this, but there's something I want you to know about these plans. He said, when you bought this property, it was absolutely worthless. He said there is no telling how many people have applied, apartment builders, all kinds of, from all kind of things. They have applied and have been turned down every time. And this property is kind of noted because it's automatically turned down by the board. And the reason is because on either side of the property, you have to, it has to, all the parking has to go to the side and the back. And there can't be any parking in the back because of the way the property adjoins this property. But he said whenever this came up on the committee for your set of plans, a man stood up, one of the board members stood up and said, hey folks, why don't we release this property? Why don't we change these rules and laws about this property? It's a good piece of property, and let someone build on it. This church wants to build. Let's let it go. And he said, Reverend, to our surprise, people voted unanimously to allow this property to be used. And I just felt like that you would want to know about it. And so I walked out with a set of plans. You know, God had to have been in it. That's the only way it would have worked. That's why we have to try our best to keep the will of God ever in our lives, because we don't know a lot of things that we ought to know. We don't know a lot of things that we think we know. But we've got to remember, we must remember, that God knows everywhere we're to place our steps. And I just felt like that you would like to know that. And that's how the church at 9606 La Prada came into being. God bless you.